everyone, my name is Millie and welcome to The Performing Arts and Me. If you haven't watched any of my videos before and you don't really know me or my channel, just a little bit of info. I make videos about the performing arts and my general life experiences and things like that. So if you're interested, please do subscribe. And I am currently at London Studio Centre on a theatre dance degree course on the musical theatre pathway. And from September 2021 to May 2022, I did a foundation year at Berg College. So yeah, that's just a little bit of info about me, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about some of my advice for choosing audition songs for auditions for places like drama schools. I did 2 years worth of auditioning because I did the auditions that I did before I did my foundation course, and then I did the auditions that I did before starting at LSC. And yeah, I'm just going to be sharing some of my advice, or yeah, just tips about how you might want to go about picking your audition songs. I just quickly want to say that particularly when it came to my first round of auditions, I looked at other people's videos online about preparing for drama school auditions and things like that. Some of the YouTubers whose videos I watch or have watched include Lucy Stewart-Adams, a channel called Auditioning for Drama School, and Georgie Ashford. I think all three of them have videos now relating to picking audition songs, and I think I watched at least some of the videos on at least two of those channels when I was picking my own audition songs. However, I can't 100% remember which ones I watched before I did my first lot of auditions, or that I watched before doing my second lot of auditions, and I can't 100% remember what was in them. So I can't say that I definitely agree with everything that's in those videos because I can't remember everything that's in those videos. However, you might want to go and have a look at those channels so that you can get a feel for other people's opinions and advice, and also some of the ideas that I raise in this video I may have originally got from those channels, so I just wanted to credit those as well. But yeah, also one final thing before we get started, please note that what you see in this video is just my advice, opinions, or like I said, things that I might have heard, so it might not all be helpful for you, and feel free to leave whatever you like and just take bits that you like from this video. Okay, so to start with, audition songs. I'm talking mainly about auditioning for like musical theatre-ish courses on degree places, but I guess any audition, like college, drama school audition that wants an audition song, this might be helpful for. So I would suggest having a few different audition songs. Most drama schools that I auditioned for asked for a cut or a full song of either a legit and or a contemporary song. When I was doing my auditions, I think I had 3 songs that I actually used in my auditions, although one of them I only brought in partway through my audition process, I think. I think it's a good idea to have a backup as well, in case they ask to hear more from you. But I don't think I ever used more than those 3 songs in my auditions this time round. Although I think when I had the 2 songs at the beginning, that I probably would have taken some other songs that I've been working on in my folder just in case. But I don't think I ever used more than those 3 songs. Okay, so that's kind of like a general point, but the first main thing that I would say is to read the instructions from the schools. I would suggest reading the instructions from all your schools if you can at the beginning. Lots of schools often have like audition requirements on their websites, and so if you have a look at those beforehand, then you can have a bit of an idea of what you're going to be asked to do. They might then send you audition information that might be the same or it might be slightly different, so double check the information they give you. I would suggest that anything you can find like on their websites or any information they send you, make a table of all the instructions for all the songs. That way you can see if there's any like crossovers between the schools, and you can see if you can use more than one song for more than one school. For example, if one school is asking you to bring a pre-1965 legit song and then a contrasting contemporary, and another school is asking you to bring a ballad and an up-tempo contemporary, then you could kind of combine those and just prepare a pre-1965 legit ballad and a contrasting contemporary up-tempo piece. This means that you've got less to prepare, and so I guess you'd have more time to work in more detail on those songs. So that's why I think it's a good idea to create a table beforehand with audition information for the different schools. Also, keep an eye out for details. So I think one of the schools that I was auditioning for said something about avoiding extreme character voices, so things like that. Also, I think some schools asked me for the original key. I'm not sure if that was all of them. So yeah, those kinds of things would probably be worth knowing, because if they're asking for it in the original key, then when you're looking for songs, you want to make sure that songs that you find are something that's in your range in the original key. Okay, so my next tip is to choose songs that you like, because you're going to have to sing these songs quite a lot. I auditioned for 11 schools this time round. Some of them were self-tapes, but that's a lot of time singing that song, plus all the times that you're singing it to prepare it, etc, etc, etc. So try and choose songs that you'll like, because you might have to sing them quite a bit. Also, people often say to avoid picking really overdone songs. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this personally, because I think that the audition panel should be judging you on your ability, so it wouldn't really matter if anyone else had done that song. However, I can see that they might be getting a bit bored of it if they've heard it quite a lot that day already. So yeah, I think it depends. I think if you really like a song and it's something you sing really well, then I don't think it's too terrible to do that song. But then again, when I was doing my research, I was looking for songs that weren't so popular or weren't so overdone. But yeah, I guess it kind of might depend on your level of experience singing and things like that as well. A tip for finding songs: if there is a really popular song that you find, or a really overdone song that you find that you really like but you don't want to do it because, you know, it could be quite popular, then maybe try and find the composer if you really like the melody, or the lyricist if you really like the lyrics, or if it's the combination you like, then the composer and the lyricist. Find out their names, and then research other things that they've written or composed for. That might find you songs that are in a similar style, or songs that you also like that are maybe a bit less well known. Or you can look for some of the performers that have played that role and look for other roles that they have played as well, because those roles might also have similar songs that could be something that you could sing. My next tip is to broaden your horizons when it comes to musicals and songs that you know of. Before I went to bed, I didn't know too many musicals. I knew a few, but I didn't know loads and loads and loads. There are loads of musicals out there. You'll likely know some of them, and you'll likely not know some of them. Now, I'm not suggesting you look for every single musical under the sun and listen to all the songs and then choose your audition song, because that would take an awful long time and might even be impossible, because there might not be a recording for every single musical. So I'm not suggesting that at all. However, I would suggest having a look at some other musicals that you might not have heard of as much. Now, finding those might be a bit difficult, so one of the ways to do it would be looking for composers and lyricists and looking at what other work they've done, or looking at performers and what other shows they've been in. You could also use like sheet music books, books such as The Singers Musical Theatre Anthology, which was something that I saw recommended as a source for finding songs on Mount View's website. I think they said that you didn't have to choose something from there, but it was just like recommending it as a way to find songs. So yeah, you could have a look in an anthology like that. I think they're grouped by vocal type as well. So if you know you're a soprano, then you can look for soprano songs, etc, etc. So that might help you to find songs. Also, Googling something like musical theatre songs for sopranos if you're looking for a soprano song, or musical theatre character songs if you're looking for a character song, or things like that could give you like a list of songs to have a look at to use as a starting point. Also, I mentioned Lucy Stewart-Adams's channel earlier, and she has like A to Z's of musical theatre songs in different categories, so you could have a look at videos on her channel, and there's probably others on YouTube as well to give you song suggestion ideas, and you could then explore other songs from those musicals or by the composers of those musicals, etc. My next tip is to choose a song that you can act. Although it's a song that you're singing, it is a musical theatre audition, and I think acting is quite an important part of that in most cases. I'm not an audition panel member or anything, but I think that acting is quite important when it comes to musical theatre songs, and I think a lot of them do say to try and pick a song that you can act. So yeah, that would be one of my tips. Also, I would say to choose a song that demonstrates your abilities. So choose a song that shows your range, shows certain vocal qualities that you can do really well, things like that, rather than choosing a song that shows what you can't do. If you choose a song that's too low for you, for example, and you can't reach the notes, then that's kind of showing them what you can't do. I think it's a good idea to challenge yourself with your song choice, as long as you think that by the time you come to your audition, you'll be prepared enough to be able to sing it well, and consistently sing it well, because some people might be really nervous on the day, and it could be that those nerves affect you when it comes to your singing voice. So picking a song that you feel like you will be comfortable with by the time it comes to the audition, but also one that demonstrates your ability to perform and to sing. My next tip is about length. Choosing a song that is long enough / short enough / would be able to be cut to an appropriate length. Obviously look at the guidance for the schools that you're auditioning for, but they often ask for a cut of a certain length, so making sure that your song can be cut to that length, and also that it is long enough, because if a school is asking you for a 2-minute cut, for example, and your song is only 1 minute long, then although that is under 2 minutes, it might be that they want to see 2 minutes of material from you, and so 1 minute might not be enough. But if you're unsure about things like that, please check the schools themselves. My next tip is to think about how it makes you come across to the panel. Now, when you're singing a song for a musical, in most if not all cases you'll be playing a character, but maybe think about choosing a song that shows some aspect of your personality so that the audition panel gets to see a little bit of you in your performance as well. Also, just being aware that some songs may be presenting you in a certain way, and although you're playing a character, it just might be worth thinking about how it's coming across. 2 more tips. One is to make sure that you can get sheet music for it, although if you're only auditioning by self-tape and there are no rounds that are face-to-face, then maybe you won't need sheet music for it, but in general I'd just say make sure you can get sheet music from it in the original key if it needs to be, etc, etc, etc. And my final tip is that I would say it's possibly worth avoiding something that is really hard for a pianist to play, as the pianists at the audition will probably be sight reading your piece. From what I've heard, certain composers can, I think, be really hard to play, so it might be worth avoiding these, unless I guess it's a really well-known song that you think that the pianist might already know. But overall I'd say if you can avoid picking a song that's really, really hard for a pianist to play, then that might be best. However, one of my songs that I used this time round, it wasn't the easiest thing to play, so if you do pick a song that's a bit harder, just making sure you know it really well, so that you can point out different things to the pianist that they might need to know beforehand, and also making sure that if they do go wrong, you'd be able to carry on with it. I play piano myself, but I don't think I play piano to the level of the pianists at those auditions, because if you think about how many songs they're getting in front of them, some of which they probably don't know, and they just have to read it and play it to a tempo, and yeah, I think they have a really hard job, so hats off to pianists at auditions, but it just might be easier for you and for them if you choose something that isn't really hard to play. Okay, and that is everything that I'm going to be sharing with you in today's video. I hope you have enjoyed this video and I hope it's been helpful. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it a like to let me know, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss my future videos. If you've got any other ideas choosing audition songs, then please do leave it in the comments. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Bye!